Why don't we descend down to 1,500 feet, and we're going to go out here and fly up the right side of that strip of grass. And you'll see the runway is in the middle of it. It's actually got like some tire tracks, and it's on a diagonal in that square, or that rectangle. So you're going to start to see the rectangle, the diagonal runway inside of that rectangle of grass in a minute. And it's actually nice to do it from 2,500 feet, because if you're not...
It's not this thing.
No, it is this right here. Not this one. It's up here in front of you. I don't know if I'm like...
I see a water tower here.
Oh, it's way before the water tower. Okay. It's right in front of us.
Is it going this way? Oh, okay. Now I see it.
And the VOR is over in the middle on the right side. There's a dirt spot, and you can now just barely make out the VOR sticking up out of it. We're going to fly right over it. So you're about to go on an upwind right now. So just keep it coming down to 1,500. You see the runway now? You can see there's like a diagonal black or darkened spot in that grass, in that plot of... It's all
it's almost like a L-shaped opening here.
So I'm just going to point the plane over there for a second. There's a hangar on either side of the runway down here.
Okay.
I'm going to point the plane right at it just for 1 second so you can see it. So that's the airport right there.
Okay, that's what I was pointing at.
Okay.
Originally, yeah.
White Skyhawk 318.
Okay, your plane. So we're just going to go up on an upwind. We'll get down to 1,000 feet now. You can probably take some power out. We'll go upwind, crosswind, downwind, base, and final. And we want to slow the plane down to 65. Way out. We'll be way out here somewhere. Slow it down to 65. There are some power lines that are marked with balls really close to the end of the runway, but they're not going to be any factor. We just need to be aware they're there. You'd have to really try hard to hit them, but we're not going to do that. And then we're going to land. See the two buildings that are long? So those two buildings are on either side, and the threshold of the runway is just beyond that. And it's marked with some old tires or orange cones.
And we're landing right in this direction too, right?
Yep. Okay. Well, it's a little bit on a diagonal in that fenced-in patch, but it'll be very apparent when we get on to final. So there is a windsock down there, and it's in the middle of the runway on our side. You see it? It's really small.
Yeah.
It actually looks like it's blowing this way. So
a little bit this way.
Yeah, so I think we're going to be good here. And there's some white markers on the sides of the runway. Those are actually lights. So evidently these guys, I think they have those. So watch your altitude. We're getting to 1,000.
Liquid traffic, Skyhawk, White Skyhawk 318 turning right.
So just lift your nose when you get to 1,000, and we want to have a nice clean pattern here. I'm going to get this out of my way so I got an obstructed view of what's going on around here. And let's stay right at 1,000 until we're on the downwind. So just lift your nose a little bit. And you can go ahead and turn crosswind. Island Downtown Airport, Skyhawk 62862 is left crosswind for runway 20. Watch your altitude, lift your nose a little bit, and we might need just a touch of power until we get... Yeah, keep a little power in because we're descending now to 850 feet, and we don't want to get too low. Because I want you to have like a really nice normal approach. Just add a little bit of power and climb a little bit. There's the runway right there. You see it?
There's it.
So don't get anxious about this. This is really simple landing. There you go. You can go ahead and turn downwind now, and then we'll get some flaps in. We do need to get up a little higher, so I'm just going to pull back for you a little because I want you to have a clean pattern here. So our airspeed's bleeding off, but that's okay. We're going to be in the white arc right where we want to be. Final down, Skyhawk 62862, left downwind, runway 20. Okay, your plane. And you can put the carb heat on. Hold the nose up just for a second. You see the VOR in the middle of the field over there? You can get some carb heat on. Get a notch of flaps in there real quick. And we'll probably go out, see where that field is, opening in the woods. We'll probably go out that far, but let's head out this way so you don't cut your base off. There you go. Our airspeed's 72 right now, so nothing the matter with that. Your power is set at 18.5. Everything feels pretty good to me.
Yep.
Liquid traffic 903 kilo, kilo, right crosswind 24, liquid.
Okay. Why don't you get another notch of flaps in right now, and then we'll be a little more prepared for what's going to come next. And we want to start the descent. We're now at 800, so this is a good spot to be. Let's get our nose down a little. And you can go ahead and turn down base, and let's get our descent going now. I'm going to push the nose down just a little bit, and we want it to be at 65, so that's a little too much. Just hold.
Climbing above the pattern,
There you go.
to the north.
And I'm completely blinded right now, except for the instrument panel, but so we're landing between those two buildings. Watch your noses coming up. Watch your noses coming up. Just push it down a little bit. Getting a little bit slow there. And let's get our rest of our flaps in real quick before we turn. There you go. And now push the nose down because we don't want to stall right here. And I just need to see where we are. I think you're good. Yeah, this looks really nice. And let's get lined up so the runway goes on a little diagonal, Leo. So let's get ourselves over a little bit further out this way. There you go. And look at your airspeed. You're right at 70. So what did I say? You want to be? Let's get over here. You see where it's a little darker in the middle? Maybe you can't, but
I see it.
There are lights on either side.
I see them too.
Okay, so let's get slowed up here. So you can actually just take just a touch of power out. And I just want to make sure your nose doesn't come up. And when I tell you, we're going to take the power out. So you're slowing up right to 65. Take just another touch of power out. And we're coming in a little high, which is good. That's perfect right there. Look at that, 65. And in a minute, we're going to take all the power out and we're going to put the nose down. So you can take all the power out right now. Take it all the way out. And we're just going to land. So this is the tricky part. We just crossed the wires. We're going to try and land pretty close to the end of here. And I'm going to stay on this with you so we're nice and straight. Power's all the way out. And now we just want to get the plane slowed down as much as we can. And as soon as our mains touch down, we pull way back and hold the nose wheel off. Look at this. And it could be wet or grooved, or we never want to touch the brakes unless it's an emergency out here. So let me just grab this throttle for you real quick. So here's what I want you to do, the after landing checklist for me. So flaps up. I'm going to keep the plane moving because if we stop here, we have issues. Flaps up, carb heat off.
Carb heat's off.
Trim wheel set for takeoff.
Trim wheel's good.
Okay. And grab your checklist. We're still moving.
Alright.
So you can see how sluggish this gets. So I'm keeping the nose wheel up as far back as I possibly can.
Alright, you got the plane, right?
Yep. And I just want you to get us set up for a short field. So do the pre-takeoff checklist, and then we're going to set flaps to 10. So you can go ahead and do that. Just do your whole, I'm going to make sure your brake is off there, and we're not going to stop. So go ahead and do your pre-takeoff checklist.
Crossview traffic, use caution skydiving over Crossviews right now.
Before we take off, flaps, we got mixture is good.
Yep, mixture's forward.
Carb heat's off.
Carb heat's off.
Flaps are good. Trim's good. Fuel on both. Heading indicator, we can recheck.
Okay, so we have 10 degrees of flaps in.
Good there.
What's it say about soft field, short field takeoff?
51 for the nose and 56 to...
Okay, so listen, you can put that away for a second. Jam that in over there. What we're going to do is we're never going to stop. We're going to roll right around here. When we get the nose off the ground, the plane is going to be flying in ground effect. As soon as we lift off and we're 10 feet above the ground, you guys stay on the controls with me. I'm going to give you the throttle back. Your plane, just turn it around. I'm keeping the nose wheel up. And let's get in the middle of the runway, and we don't want to stop. Full power, full power. Here we go. Ready? So we're going to get the nose up. Look at this. We want to keep the nose up, and the mains are going to come off the ground pretty quickly. See where that fence is up there?
Yep.
Okay, so watch what happens next. Call out the airspeeds. Give me an airspeed.
Still not showing 40.
Okay, so look, the plane's flying now, but we're in ground effect. So we're going to put the nose down and pick up some airspeed.
All right.
That's a short field, soft field takeoff. I'm going to get one notch of flaps out, and now everything's cool, and you got the plane climb out normally.
Got it.
Bada bing!
That was pretty cool.
Traffic out of there.
Want to do another one here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Going to enter right downwind for 9. Any traffic please is out.
Do you think you have enough wherewithal to do the landing part, to get it on the ground, to slow it down, get it on the ground, and hold that nose up? I mean, I'm going to stay with you, but I just want to know if I can, if you want to give the whole thing a shot, or you want me to stay on it with you?
I'm always willing to try.
Okay, so I'll just stay on it with you.
Tell me any Bonanza 5 miles to the south.
I don't like to come down here and do like 2 or 3 of these at a time, only because this poor guy's field gets all chewed up, and he's a really nice guy for letting us use it, but it is a public airport, so.
Let me know when you want me to start turning.
We're at 600 feet. You can go ahead and turn downwind, or crosswind to downwind.
Crossing traffic, Caravan, midfield, right downwind.
You want me to continue it or do an actual pattern?
You can do a pattern.
Okay.
I'm going to suggest we get rid of this, just so you got lots of room to see here, because when we pull that nose up, it gets a really narrow view here.
Where you at?
Hey, look back at the runway.
We'll be number 2.
There you go. So you can go down downwind now.
Alright, cool.
Flying downtown airport, Skyhawk 62862, left downwind, runway 20. I think I just stepped on the Caravan, but okay, it's beautiful. You got the runway in sight. But just be aware the runway is a little bit on a diagonal to the rectangular field. So when you do your base to final, just overshoot the base a little bit so you're on a little steeper dogleg coming in. This looks really nice though.
Crossing traffic, Caravan.
Great place to get things start to slow down, so carb heat. Nice. Perfect.
About 1,800 RPM.
Was that Slurpee?